Hi, friends. Welcome back to It's Not That Deep. I'm your host, Mads. If you're new here, this is a podcast about me, shocker, 28-year girl who decided to mix business and pleasure. And I dated my landlord, and we broke up, and it shattered my world. So, synopsis of episode 1 and 2 is going over my breakup and then how I even started dating him in the first place. And now we're on to episode 3, which is called Mark My Words. I am really excited for this episode because we're on the outside of the relationship looking in now. And this podcast is definitely geared, at least these first 3 episodes are definitely geared more towards people that are going through heartbreak or people that are feeling maybe stuck in life. There's a lot of tools and advice that I give that my therapist has given me, that friends have given me, that I'm just relaying to you. It'll be really good for people that are going through those moments. I had a lot of people reach out in regards to hard things that they have had to do, empathy towards my relationship, sympathy towards my relationship, and just so you know, you are part of my healing journey, and I thank you for listening. Again, if you're new here, I'm Mads. I will be guiding you through the last portion of this Dating My Landlord saga, and it's actually going to be a fun part. This part is the healing-ish part. What I've learned and what I'm learning outside of the relationship. So I am 5 months no contact, March 4th, with my ex. And I have to be honest, I recorded this podcast last night and I couldn't even have the energy to listen to it. And I started to listen to it today and I hated it because I could tell that I was really scattered in my brain. And the reason why is because I did see my ex yesterday for the first time in a while, and it rocks me. And it's just the truth. Seeing him sets my nervous system into fight or flight, and I tried everything yesterday to not let it take over my day. And it didn't. Typically in the 5 months, when I would see my ex, it would send me about a week into a very depressive and self-sabotaging state of mind. But this time it didn't. And this is TMI, but I'm supposed to start my period in a couple days. I got diagnosed with, from my therapist, PMDD in November of this past year. And it's been a true eye-opening situation where I'm realizing that sometimes my moods, I just literally, they're out of my control. And as much as I don't want them to be this wackadoodle, they are. And I've been working and taking steps to help my PMDD. And this is the first week before my period that I'm not sobbing every day about everything. I'm not overthinking every nook and cranny of my decisions, of my life, of conversations. So it's a really big win. A couple things that I've done, if you are someone who thinks that they might have PMDD, is I started acupuncture, and then I started taking this holistic kind of woo-woo, but it's called tincture, and it's something that I'm starting first before going to a traditional mood balancer pill situation. Back to what I'm talking to you about. The reason that I had to re-record this episode is because I couldn't even listen to it myself. It was so scattered and it was too much, and you could just tell that I was in a state of high emotion and trying to bottle it up. So we're redoing it because it's my podcast and I can, and it's not that fucking deep. So I wanted to talk about how I got here, because 2 days ago in my yoga class, there was my yoga teacher. She it ended up being like a one-on-one class because somebody had to leave and there's only 2 of us. And at the end of the class, I thanked her because she helped me get into this pose that I've never done before. I was scared shitless, and it was so fun. And I was like, thanks so much for making this class really fun, because one-on-ones are kind of awkward sometimes. And then I told her I really appreciated her intention, and her intention for the class was transform. And it resonated with me because I feel in my life that like I'm at a moment where transformation is coming. I've been really working hard behind closed doors on a lot of things, and I can just like feel it in my soul that it's coming. So when she said that, it was just like, oh, here's another sign that it's coming. So I told her about that, and then she's like, yeah, I base all my, after a year of teaching, I realized that all my intentions are just true to my life, and I'm going through a breakup. And then I was like, amazing. So we talked for an hour after class. She is now my friend. I'm meeting up with her on Sunday, and we are going to talk a little bit more. And it made my heart really happy because when I started talking to her, I was hearing her story, and very similar in situation to mine, down to like the age and how things went about, not necessarily open relationship, but she did get blindsided. And something that I had suggested to her was, she was just like, everything was just going so well. Like, there was no sign that things weren't going well. And, she's like, when we met, it was just like, everything's just been good. And I told her, I was like, it is like when you meet somebody, you meet them at probably the same level that they're at in life, or someone's kind of like wanting to be at the level they're at type of thing. But she was telling me how she was going to therapy, and there was been a lot of good change in her life. And, I simply suggested like maybe you going to therapy throughout your relationship kind of elevated you in life and made you into a person that is wonderful. But maybe that started to scare him, and he liked the level he was at. So that's a possibility. And she's like, that was really wise. And I was like, babe, thanks. Like, sometimes it's not that deep. And then I told her about my podcast, and then we started yapping. And why I'm sharing this is because I've been wanting change for a very long time. And at the end of our conversation, she looked at me and she goes, so you've been out for 5 months. I said, I've been no contact for 5 months. Yeah. And she goes, I hope I'm where you're at in 5 months. And I had no words because I didn't know what to say, because I've been working really hard, and I wanted to say like, thank you. But then I also wanted to be like, no, you don't, because it's still tough. And then I looked at her and I said, I'm fumbling over my words, because like, I hope you're here in 5 months. Because even though it's still tough for me, I'm finally at a place where I feel clear in my head. And the way that I've gotten there is by making change happen. And it didn't start until I went no contact. So if you are going through a heartbreak or a breakup, or you're feeling stuck with any relationship, I do recommend trying no contact. This is something that I was told from the beginning, and I knew in my body. It sucked, but like Billie Eilish's Happier Than Ever song. It's like I was always happy when he was away, when he was gone, when I knew he was out of the state. Like, I do better when I know he's not around. And so that's, obviously telling, but it's because it sends me backwards a little bit, and it takes me harder to like get back out of whatever, little hole I go into. But going no contact was the beginning of me making this change. And it's fucking hard. Going no contact. You have to be disciplined, because the feelings of like, because apparently when you break up, all the things that you're going to start remembering are the cute things, and the things that are like the touches, and like the kisses, and the words, and the way they talk, like all these things. And you're like, no, bitch, he was disrespectful to you. Don't go back into these moments. Like, yes, there can be good moments, but I honestly tried to remember all of the bad to make me remember why I'm going no contact, and like the hate and the anger, because it is easy to just go back into a pattern because he is going to put on a good face and a good mask for the next 3 months. So I just needed to get through the end of the year, October to December, because I knew that I needed to stay strong there. So I did. And when I made it to the new year, I was like, well, damn, maybe I can do, like, life without him actually is fine. And I thought I wasn't going to be able to do it without him, and here we are doing it. And is it hard? Hell yeah. Oh my God. Sorry, it's morning, so I'm having my little coffee with edible glitter, per usual. It is hard. It's hard because, like, I imagined a life with him. He was my security, and, like, now it's just all on me being so secure in myself, which is something I'm really excited to work at. But change doesn't happen if change doesn't happen. And I know you've heard that phrase before. And it took me a very long time to finally make change. I was making small changes throughout the breakup, like moving out, staying busy, going and meeting new friends, taking my yoga teacher training. I made small changes, but the biggest change, and the one that I knew would set me free from him, was no contact. And then from no contact, I started tapping into, like, what other changes do I need to make in my life? So what are my friendships looking like? How am I spending my time? How is my interactions with males? Like, what am I doing on my spare time? And at the end of the year, I just wanted to get to my solo vacation that I took during Christmas, and then I went and visited my best friend in Vegas. And I just needed to get to that point. But there are things, like, I definitely didn't go on any dates. I deleted the dating apps kind of right away when I went no contact. And that helped me. So I will say, like, if you feel like the dating apps aren't serving you, delete them, because they're not. And you're using them in a way that what you're putting out is what you're getting in. So I have a very strong opinion on dating apps, and that's all I'm going to say right now. But if you don't feel like it's aligning with you, just delete them. And the reason why is because I organically, first of the year, had I had these 2 dates that surprised me and showed me that change is around if I want it. I am realizing that the partying, the clubbing, the staying out till 3 a.m., the drinking excessively, that does not align with any of my goals, like, at all. Sure, are my espresso martinis still existing in my life? Yes. I have a cap of 2, and if I'm feeling frisky, maybe 3, but I'll be up. Like, it's a lot of caffeine. And that's just, like, a little bit of my vice. But other than that, I don't necessarily enjoy drinking. I feel like conversations become really surface. I feel like it doesn't enhance any of the actual time with somebody. I just feel like it's something you're doing, and then you just get really drunk, and then, like, things get really crazy, rather than, like, intentional time. For example, one of my friends asked me to go thrifting, and I haven't gone thrifting. The only time I've been thrifting is actually my sister and I went to ThriftCon, but before that it was always for Halloween costumes. So intentional thrifting, we went and got a coffee and then thrifted, and it was a great 2.5 hours well spent. Like, I was like, this fills my cup. And that's what I started asking myself. What fills your cup, Mads? Like, when you are spending time with somebody, are you feeling drained when you leave, or are you feeling fulfilled, full, or are you feeling like, yeah, that was good, like, indifferent? And that's what I started realizing, that, like, maybe I need to start being more intentional with the time that I'm spending with other people and how I'm spending it. Because, yeah, drinking is no longer something that is a priority in my life. If I would rather go I'd rather wake up at 8 a.m. and go to a yoga class, go to a coffee shop, go on a walk, go to the mountains. I'd rather do literally anything else than start day drinking or meet up at 9, 10 p.m. and start drinking then. Like, it doesn't serve me in the moment. It doesn't serve me the next day. So that's something that I realized that I needed to make a change. And I actively started making a change this year about how I would spend my time. And there was a time that I went out with a friend and I was happy that I did it. However, the next day was tough on me mentally. I had to pull myself out and not have those, like, you shouldn't have stayed out that late. You shouldn't have had, like, all those extra drinks. You should have just went home after this. Like, you shouldn't have, spent all this money. And all of those thoughts came, and I was like, you know what, Mads, but you did it. It's in the past. Let's move forward. And it just, it set me back. And then I was fighting all day my hangover. And, like, that's not fun, guys. It's not fun when you're 28 and doing that. If you're younger, I still recommend not doing it, but, like, tap into that if you're younger. Are you actually enjoying going out and being with the people that you're with? The other thing was, like, these 2 dates that I went on, it was eye-opening because they were both sober, and I was like, fuck yeah. And so for the first time ever, I experienced dating sober, and it was really intentional. And I believe the last 6 weeks have been super eye-opening, and I loved every week of the last 6 weeks because I've learned so much about myself. But I learned that, like, it's okay to choose yourself, and I needed to choose myself. So I, recently just decided, like, it's just me. I need to focus on my mental health, my physical health, and I really need to stick to what I'm going to talk about next, which is boundaries. So what I've learned from my relationship and leaving it was my boundaries. In business, I'm really good at boundaries. However, with my personal life, I will set boundaries and then I won't stick to them. So I'm working on trying to stick with them, and ways that I'm doing that is by including my friends in on my boundaries, letting them know where they're at, and saying no. Like, saying no to things that don't align. And like sitting with things, or just saying, like, let me get back with you. Like, it's okay to not say yes and not say no right away. Like, if you get presented an opportunity for, I don't know, hanging out with this group of friends, you can be like, you know what, like, let me just check my schedule and I'll get back with you on that. That's okay. But those are the boundaries, like, that I've been working on. And I would say even, like, it's good to write them down. It's good to talk to people. But the people that aren't respecting your boundaries are definitely the ones that you want to reevaluate. Check if they're filling your cup. Because sometimes when boundaries are not respected, it can be because they're the ones breaking it. And they're taking whatever it is that you're offering to them away from you, which is emptying your cup. So just check in on your cup every time you hang out with somebody. That's, like, my biggest advice. And only 18 minutes, guys. This is doing way better. I really want my episodes to be about 30 minutes long. And yeah, last night's I rambled about 40, and I was like, this is too much. So I wanted to recap, like, making change happen is a big, helpful tool in getting over a breakup. It's not going to be easy, and give yourself grace. Making boundaries. There's a book called Set Boundaries, Find Peace. I don't know if I can put that in any of my shit, but I will if I can. Set boundaries, find peace. There's also a workbook on that. I have that workbook. I've gotten about halfway through, and it's really hard. But just remember, like, there's no rush. This is your life. If you want to potentially start setting boundaries within families or friends or your own relationship or your work relationships, like, I highly recommend that book. Listen to that pretty fast, and it's going to be on my re-listen now that I'm in a different headspace in my life. And something I forgot to tell you. when going through a breakup, shit that changes, it sucks because sometimes it's like sometimes you're the one getting broken up with, or sometimes you're the one breaking up with them. And in my case, I kind of was like both. Like he wanted to break up, but he also didn't, so I had to break up with him. And finding routine and trying new things, like it was extremely hard for me to find new things and to find a routine that worked for me, because every day I was like, okay, he's a very fast-paced morning person, so that's what I was used to. Like you get up, a little rendezvous always had to happen, and then we'd go to yoga, and then it was like your day started, and it's pedal to the metal till like 11 p.m. And honestly, I don't even know what happened in between the day, but you were just always constantly busy the moment you woke up. I don't live that way at all. I have slowed down the rushed life because it's very unhealthy. I intentionally wake up at, right now I'm trying to get back to 5:45, but I'm always up at 6 or 6:30, and then some days I get up and move right out of bed, and other days I'm in more of a slower state, and right now I'm in a slower state. Like, I lay, I scroll, I'm not perfect. I'm really trying to get out of these habits, and Mel Robbins is one of her episodes in like January. There's like routine, like 7 like step routine when you wake up in the morning to just get you out of bed. Highly recommend it. I'm gonna go back into it after I start my period because I know why I'm being lazy, and it's not lazy. That was hard on myself. I know why my body's moving slower, and it's because it is moving slower in anticipation of my period. There's a lot of things happening, and so we're gonna just take it slow, and that's okay. But routine, it's going to change, and try different ones out. I've tried so many different ones out, and I have realized within 1 month, my routine doesn't stay the same day to day. It changes, stays the same week to week. So each week is like a different, like this week leading up, I was slower, and I'm doing more of like flow classes rather than like sculpting classes at yoga because my body is feeling it. My muscles, my joints kind of feel it too. It's part of PMDD, and I just get I can just like feel it. So instead of hurting my body, I'm helping my body by going a little slower. So finding those new routines and then trying new things I've tried new things throughout when I was like still with my ex, but really since December, I would say intentionally November, I have been saying yes to a lot of things. And I told myself the rest of 2024, I'll say yes to as much as I can. There was a day that I had 4 events that I had to go to, and I hit all of them, but I was exhausted, and I found the ones that filled my cup, and I found the ones that didn't, and I found how I wanted to be a friend to people, and it was good. Like, I learned, and that was the whole point. And I was honest with every single one of the people at the event that was hosting it, that was telling, like, I told them, I was like, I overbooked my day, but I want you to know, like, it was intentional, and it's because I really need to be saying yes to everything to find out what to say no to. And they were all respectful on it, and I loved that. But yeah, I tried snowboarding for the first time in December, went on a solo Christmas vacation, and went snowboarding, and I loved it, and it's an expensive hobby, and I don't want to add that into my budget in life right now, but I am going to for next season. And the reason why is because it challenges me during these like seasonal depression months, right? It's pretty tough. I'm even in a sunny state of Colorado. Like, it's really tough if you're in, I don't know, Indiana. It's gray skies and there's not a lot to do. So go easy on yourself during these darker months. But for me, the snowboarding has 100% changed the game to maybe my winter months and my mindset. I'm really excited, and also the people that you meet. I really enjoyed the people that I met when I was snowboarding. However, it's not going to be like my identity. I've realized that it's just going to be something that I do, and I'm really stoked about that. Hair bestie Josie, she snowboards, so it'll be nice to just even do like a quick girls' day up to any mountain and just like ride it out and enjoy and like yap and not yap. That's like my idea of snowboarding. And then another thing that I tried that was new, I'm playing the piano. Oh, if you're in Colorado listening to this and you know somebody that would be happy to teach me lessons, I will pay for them. I think I need that in order to really get myself going. It's going to be maybe like a March, April goal. But I'm learning to play the keyboard piano because a real piano is too big for my house and really expensive and really heavy. So we got a keyboard piano and we've been doing that. And just like trying new things, like saying yes to things that make you so uncomfortable, because the worst case is that you never do that again. And the best case is that you find something new that you like to do that wasn't something within your relationship. This is going to be really tough for me to say, but I have these self-love cards that my friend Rachel gave to me, and it's a past, present, and future, and they're just questions. And last night I was doing it as I try to do it daily, and the future question was, what is a good habit you have that might not align with you anymore? And my first thought, and it was so annoying, and I have to explore it more, but my first thought was yoga. Like, yoga is a great part of my life, a great habit. And yoga is more than just poses or asana. It is like meditation. There's so much more. There's 8 limbs to it. So the postures and the poses and the classes is just one part to it. But I think that, I don't know, that just thought came in my mind. And so why I'm sharing this with you is because even though like I know that that's a huge part of my life, I'm like, that was something that I got introduced to from my ex. And we did yoga together. And it's really hard sometimes to see couples in class. It is really hard to go to certain locations. And it's really hard because that's all I ever wanted in a partner, was someone to go to the gym with me. And he made that happen, but at the same time, it's not, it might be something that I have to change, or maybe like stop going to Core Power, but Core Power is just, I love the heat. So yeah, there's just things that like I'm still working on, and one of those is like when I was writing down like what it is I learned and what I'm learning from this relationship, I started thinking about that self-love card, and I was like, oh my God, finding new routines and trying new things, like that one stuck with me. So if you are going through a heartbreak and you are like trying to find routines to your life, ask yourself the ones that you're doing that are still quote unquote good for you, and sit with that and see if it does need to change. Maybe it's like you guys would go in the morning, so maybe you only go at night, or maybe you go only on the weekends. I don't know. It's got to look perfect for you, or not perfect because perfect doesn't exist, but it's got to look and feel good to you. For me, I love yoga. I don't think I'll ever take it away. I just think that it will go into a different, it might just be not going to Core Power. I don't know. We'll see. But I hope that this episode really helped you, like, kind of realize, if you didn't listen to the first 2, they're pretty sad. I'm not gonna lie. Like, there's a lot of hurt, there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of realization, there's a lot of manipulation, and I explain all of that. However, what my third episode, I wanted it to be a little bit more upbeat. I wanted it to be a little bit more like, there is light at the end of the tunnel, because there is. And for the longest time, I never thought that there was. I was running in dark for a very long time. But here's some light. If you listen to this podcast, there is light. Keep trucking along. Call your mom, call your dad, call your people that you know will help you get out, because they, as much as you think that they're annoying or you're annoying them, they are not annoyed. They are here to support you. And if they are annoyed, that's on them to create a boundary with you, not you. So I hope that with listening to these podcasts, you'll learn a little something, and you'll just feel a little lighter, because as deep as things can be, It's just not that deep.